Good work by the Stony Point Tigers marching band. Their football team had a big game tonight as well, and they actually have two bands on the show tonight, Joaquin, so a special treat for our viewers since we were wiped out last week by the rains. We will hear from the Lago Vista band in just a little bit. We'll hear from both of them all night long, but this is the final high school blitz of the regular season. How's that possible? It went very quickly.
Time has flied. It's been a lot of fun, though. I've enjoyed it.
Yeah, no, it's been a great season. Of course, we've got playoff games still to come, but I tell you what, we don't do preseason predictions on the show, but if we did, I doubt you or I would have had Leander with a chance to go to the playoffs in the final week of the season, considering they were winless last year, Joaquin.
Yeah, 25-5A provides so much drama for us. I remember last year I was at the game of the week, the final week of the regular season. It was Vandegrift and Georgetown last year playing for that final spot. Remember, they all got into a huge tiebreaker. Georgetown went for two, didn't get it on the last play of the game, which sent Vandegrift into the playoffs. Of course, they had a deep run and a ton of drama again in this one because, you know, Cedar Park, Vandegrift, and Vista Ridge are all at the top with Dripping Springs and Leander playing each other, and then there's Georgetown over there. Ultimately, both the teams in the game of the week want Georgetown to lose.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It was, as you would expect, a crazy season from 25-5A. We'll help you make sense of it as this show goes along, but right now let's get right into our Austin area game of the week. It is Leander and Dripping Springs, and that is where we find Claire Brandon to hopefully help us make some sense out of this playoff picture. Hey, Claire.
Hey, you guys. Yeah, a little complicated, but you can't ask for much more than three teams all in the hunt for the fourth and final playoff spot heading into the final week of the regular season. Even better when the two are facing off against each other. Dripping Springs hosting Leander. Now, bear with me as I try to explain this, although I will say it looks like Leander is about to score right now, down 46-28 with 9:40 left. They're on the 3-yard line, going for it on fourth down. They did not get it, so Dripping Springs comes up with a huge fourth down stop. So they are up 46-28. Okay, now bear with me. A lot of playoff scenarios because Georgetown and Leander entered tonight tied for fourth at 3-3, but the Lions beat the Eagles back in September. So for Leander, it was pretty simple. They were in the driver's seat. It was win tonight and you're in. If not, a loss by less than 10 points and a Georgetown loss to Vandegrift. For Dripping Springs, a little more complicated. They would need a win by at least 10 points and a Georgetown loss. And then, of course, for the Eagles, all they would need is a win over Vandy and a Dripping Springs win over Leander. So if everything stands as it is right now, it looks like Georgetown would be the team heading to the playoffs. But very exciting stuff. You could tell these two teams came out. It was back and forth in the first half, and then Dripping Springs kind of ran away with it in the second half. Like you mentioned, what a turnaround for Leander after going winless in 2014, coming in 4-5 under first-year head coach Tim Smith. Meanwhile, the Tigers trying to bounce back from two tough losses to Vandegrift and Georgetown. All right, let's get you to the highlights. Tigers return home on a 2-game losing streak while the Lions look to lock up a playoff berth. In the first quarter, Bobby Credur takes the handoff and goes 15 yards into the end zone, and it's 7-0 Dripping Springs. To the second, Colin Berzeni back to pass. Leander forces the fumble, and Ale Williams is there to scoop it up. He takes this one the other way, return to the 1-yard line. That sets up a Matthew Long 1-yard touchdown run, and we are tied up at 7 at the start of the second. Tigers respond though. Reese Johnson 8 yards into the end zone, extra point, no good, but Dripping Springs lead it 13-7. Back and forth we go. Parker McNeil to Dalton Flowers, go up and get it, a huge gain right there. That sets up McNeil to Flowers. Once again, 7 yards on that touchdown. 14-13 Leander. And swing possession for Dripping Springs. Reese Johnson fakes out the camera, takes a huge hit as Credur goes around the right side for a 7-yard score, and it's 20-14 Dripping Springs. But we're not done yet. Matthew Long with a 3-yard touchdown run with 6 seconds left in the first half, and Leander leads it 21-20 at the break. So once again, it was a 2-point game in the third quarter, and then since then it's been all Dripping Springs. They lead 46-28 with just about 8 minutes, 8:51 left in this game. So we'll go down to the wire. Interesting to see what Georgetown does as well. Guys, I'll send it back to you inside.
All right, pop quiz now.
My head just exploded. All the scenarios and Claire's, all of her highlights. I'm very
information
confused.
there. No, there's a lot of information, but it's obviously looking good for Dripping Springs to win that game, which means it's ultimately looking good for Georgetown, which we'll show you in a minute. I'm going to give us a ring here because that was, in fact, a pick'em game. I had Dripping Springs. You had
Dripping Springs as well.
All right, so good for us there. Let's move now to our San Antonio area game of the week. You know, the playoffs really started this week in District 27 6A. That's the two-zoned district, and they play a championship game this week, and it is Brennan and O'Connor. Jeff Platt is there. Jeff, surprisingly, this is the first meeting ever between these two schools.
Ricky, you're right, and what a way to kick off Brennan facing O'Connor with the district championship on the line. I know Claire had to deal with a ton of playoff scenarios. This is pretty simple. Brennan already in the playoffs. O'Connor already in the playoffs. But this district championship is very important to Brennan. Listen to this. Every single Bear on this football team right now has not lost a district game. So for the seniors, they're looking for their 4th straight district title. This group has only lost 2 regular season games total. Both of those games came this season, one to Smithson Valley, one to Judson. O'Connor has only lost 2 regular season games also out of district play. Those losses coming against Reagan and against Steele. So the Panthers were riding pretty high coming into this one. Undefeated in district play, just like Brennan. Let's see how it all broke down. Brennan head coach Steve Baser getting his Bears ready to go. And with the coin toss, we are underway. A district championship on the line. Brennan marching early. Kyle Michael going deep and finding Dane Thomas for the score. Brennan takes the early lead. That wasn't all from the Bears in the first half. It's a 2 QB system for Brennan. This is Tavion Tolfree running into the end zone. Bears up 14-0. But O'Connor quarterback Clayton Maxwell wouldn't go away quietly. Maxwell going deep to Jonathan Tapia. It's Tapia for the score, but Brennan took a 21-14 lead into the half. And right now, Brennan has pulled away this game all but wrapped up. The Bears lead the Panthers 35-21. Entering this game, by the way, Brennan had outscored its district opponents by a combined score of 220-44. So it looks like the district dominance for the Brennan Bears continues here tonight. Plenty more to come from this game a little bit later in the show. Guys?
All right, Jeff, thank you. I mean, Brennan dominates that district, so props to O'Connor for keeping that thing close.
I picked him, and a lot of the reason I picked him was because I had
Tell us why you picked him.
I had to get crazy. Nobody's gonna. I can't get last in the Friday forecast. Jeff, unfortunately, is in that position. Nobody's gonna remember who finished 2nd through 5th. So I had to get a little crazy to
what
try
you're
to
telling
catch
us is you really didn't pick who you thought was going to win the game. You just picked who you thought I wouldn't pick.
I thought they had a chance, and yeah definitely who you wouldn't pick because got to go for the glory.
Interesting. All right.
Let's get into the rest of a tough 25 5A, an exciting district between Cedar Park, Vista Ridge, 2 of the top teams there. We picked this one up at the second. Wolves already up 10-7. Max Sexton, here he is, slinging it 48 yards to Jack Grimm going up top, who grabs it and dives in for a little extra style right there. That is a beautiful touchdown. Then it's Sexton to Grimm again, this time pushing his way in to put the Wolves up 24-7. Cedar Park just cannot be stopped. The #1 team in the state up 48-21 in the 4th.
All right, so Georgetown needed Leander to lose. You saw earlier that was happening. Then the Eagles also needed to beat Vandergrift to get into the playoffs. Great defense from both sides early on. Georgetown quarterback Chandler Herman trying to get something going here. Nice run. It's going to pick up 15 yards on the play. Later on the same drive, the Eagles are the first to get on the board. Herman hands off to running back Dakota Cahill for the score, 7-0 Eagles. In the second quarter, same score, Vipers QB Alex Fernandez to Travis Brannon. Look, you're never catching that guy from behind. 70 yards for a Vipers touchdown to make it 7-all. We understand that Vandergrift wide receiver Paxton Sagina was helicoptered away from the stadium after an injury there, taken to UMC Brackenridge. We're trying to get you an update on that, obviously. Thoughts and prayers with him, but it is 42-21, Georgetown leading in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, absolutely. A playoff spot on the line between Cedar Creek and McAllen. This one's nice and simple. You win and you are in. Loser goes home. First possession, Cedar Creek. The special team comes up big. They block the punt. Eagles take over at the 12. They would cash in on 4th down. TJ McDonald, the first quarter touchdown. The only one of the first quarter. Second quarter, it's Deshaun Taylor making the play for the Eagles. Oh, making the Eagles pay, for the turnover. I was waiting for the turnover right there. That's a touchdown. Ties this one up at 7. Cedar Creek, though, watch out for these guys. They are playoff bound for the first time in school history. They win 24-14 over McCallum. Hey, I picked that one.
That was a pickle game. You got that one right. I got that one
making
wrong.
Up ground.
All right, wrapping up our 26 5A highlights. Reagan, your second place finisher in the district with a win tonight. Crockett closing out its season. Look, Mulba car. That's all we need to say, right? Dragged down at about the 1 yard line on that one. This would finish the drive. Mulba with the touchdown there for Reagan. And then we're going to go deep here to Devontae Scott. Keith Carey told us they could throw the football. They're showing it right there. Touchdown, Reagan. Great season for the Raiders, which will continue next week in the playoffs. 42-6 now, leading Crockett in the fourth quarter. But McCallum, Cedar Creek. McCallum's postseason streak is over after 13 straight years. Cedar Creek in for the first time in school history. That's amazing.
McCallum has dominated that district. It's always been McCallum and LBJ. One of them, you just know is going to win the district. But Reagan and Cedar Creek really coming out of nowhere and taking the second and the fourth spot in that one. And a lot of excitement. We like to stay as up to date as possible, all the playoff scenarios, but some of these are just wild. And we'll get to some of the really fun stuff later.
Yeah, it's complicated. We will try to make sense of it as we go along here on the show. And again, we will certainly keep you updated on Vandergrift wide receiver Paxton Seguina, who was taken away by helicopter from the game after a head injury tonight. We'll try to get you an update on that. But still to come tonight, who takes the final playoff spot from 13-6A? Stony Point, Pflugerville, McNeil all entered the night still alive for that fourth and final spot. Highlights next.
High School Blitz!
Katy Perry there. We got dueling bands, Lago Vista, our other band of the week. Thank you guys very much. Those guys actually trying to make a trip to the Peach Bowl this postseason. Still looking for donations, so if you want to help out, get to their website. The Vikings band trying to take it to the Peach Bowl.
It's pretty cool, right?
Yeah, I like it.
Heck of a trip for them.
Yeah, first stop, our studios, next stop, Peach Bowl.
Yeah, this is the next stop to the big time.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got more highlights to get into, and we're going to go to District 13-6A now, which is equally complicated. And this is the night where we thank our friend Danny Davis from the Austin American Statesman, because he does the hard work here, breaking down all of the different playoff scenarios. What he has come up with for this district is that Cedar Ridge wins the district with a 25-14 win over Hendrickson last week. So that's fine.
As long as they win tonight, of course.
Right, Round Rock second, Hendrickson third. Cedar Ridge started playing varsity football in 2012. Now, the fourth playoff spot is where it gets messy. Stony Point is in with a win over Pflugerville.
Okay.
That's simple, but it could get more complicated if that does not happen, because the Panthers could still get in, McNeil could still get in. So let's start with Stony Point and Pflugerville, see if Stony Point can make it easy for us and win this game and get into the playoffs. Our cameras were a little tardy to the party here. It was already 19-2 Pflugerville when they got there. Stony Point recovered a fumble, unable to capitalize, though, before the end of the half. So we're going to go to the third quarter. And a good kickoff return here from Stony Point.
But
they would go 3 and out after said kickoff return.
So still a lot of tackling.
Yeah, just 2 points on the board for that. So really, we don't have a lot to show you from this. What we can tell you, though, is that Pflugerville did win 19-2. So that opens the door, Joaquin, for McNeil, who would advance with a win since Stony Point lost.
Well, we're going to get to them here in a second. Cedar Ridge, a win gives them the top seed in the district. Taking on Westwood, first drive for the Raiders. Garrett Sharp to Kadarius Daniels, pulls it down in the back of the end zone. It's 7-0 Ridge. Raider D getting after it as well. Nice stunt here on third down. Here comes Anthony Deary for the sack. So Cedar Ridge gets the ball back, and Sharp goes back to his man Daniels. These two have been hooking up all season long. He waltzes his way in. Raiders go up 14-0, take it 42-14. As you mentioned, they started varsity football in 2012 and they are the top seed out of 13-6A.
Okay, so now McNeil and Round Rock. Round Rock is already in the playoffs. McNeil, since Stony Point lost, could get in with a win. That would make it easy. This was a nominee for the Blitz blow-up. We don't do that anymore, but if we did, Donovan Armstrong lights up the McNeil receiver there, one of the best hits we've seen this season. The Rock offense looking for the first score of the game. Liam Beard up top to Mr. Nash Kelly, 7-0. Round Rock. Later in the second quarter, it is our man Dacius White, 10 yards, and he's in for a touchdown. It was 14-0 Round Rock there. They win 50-17, so McNeil is not in the playoffs yet.
Yeah, and Round Rock and Pflugerville, they're having a coin toss.
Stony Point, not Round Rock, Stony Point.
Yeah, Stony Point, having a coin toss to decide who gets in. Hawks and Raiders up at AC Bible. This is Hendrickson and Rouse. Carrington Kearney hands it off to Trent Howard. He goes 41 yards with some blockers. The Hawks up 7-0, and then it's Kearney again. This is the UTSA future defensive back. This time he keeps it around the end, playing QB right there. He's fast, that's for sure. All the way down for 7 more. Hendrickson wins this thing 28-6 in a very complicated district.
Yeah, so to recap all of that, what you really need to know is that sometime this evening, Stony Point, Pflugerville, and McNeil will be flipping coins to determine who gets the fourth and final playoff spot. Whoever has the odd result of the coin flip will get in. We'll update you as soon as we know.
The entire season. That's so Friday Night Lights like. The entire season, you've played 10 games. Now you better pick heads or tails. I would go tails. Tails never fails.
Sure.
Except half the time.
Get on the phone to one of those coaches and tell them to go.
Half the time it doesn't, but
you know what I like about District 14-6A? It was all decided before tonight. Don't have to worry about any of this madness. Therefore, playoff teams are set in stone. So what we needed to know, though, was could Lake Travis finish off a perfect regular season for the first time since 2011, which just happened to be their last state title season. Cavs taking on Aikens, and look, you got a feeling Lake Travis is probably going to win this one as we go into the tunnel with Mr. Brewer there. Here's the opening kickoff of the game. If you wanted to know if it would be a long night for Aikens, here's your answer. Malik Barkley fields it, cuts it back. I don't even know if he got touched. He is gone.
And Charlie Brewer's probably out of the game already.
Yeah, Charlie had an easy evening. 7-0 Lake Travis. They get it back after an Aikens fumble. Abe Willow's replacement here, Santiago Villegas, looked like he was stopped, but somewhere in that mess, he actually got the ball across the goal line for a touchdown, 13-zip. Lake Travis wins 56-7. Congrats to the Cavs' undefeated regular season.
Austin High, their playoff spot secure. Getting all they could handle, though, from Anderson. Maroons up 20-14. Trey Lundquist hits Trey Espinoza for the 29-yard touchdown. So the Trojans on top, 21-20. Maroons driving now. Bo Kalbacher over the middle to Kirby Dale. Oh, he drops it. That would have been a touchdown. Sets up 4th down. Maroons going for it. Kalbacher scrambling, going back to Dale, who just had the drop. He's got faith in his wide receiver. You're not taught to go all the way back across the field, but he holds on to that one. They score. Maroons running away with it. Hopefully they can finally get a playoff win.
We'll see about that next week. Mainer's Eric Fowler is the highest rated recruit in the Austin area, and he will be playing in one of the most elite high school all-star games. This morning at the Mustangs pep rally, the Mainer senior was presented with his U.S. Army All-American jersey. The LSU commit is the first player ever from Mainer to be picked for this game. Of course, the game will be played January 9th at the Alamo Dome.
It means a lot to me. It's a blessing to put on for my nation and for the Mainer community. It's going to be a tough week. Of course, but a lot of competing. I'm ready. There's going to be a lot of emotion, definitely a lot of tears. We lost a brother of ours, but that's going to make us come stronger and then play as one.
Yeah, really tough week for Mainer, playing in tribute tonight to Lance Thomas, the 17-year-old former student and football player there who lost his life in a car accident earlier this week. Mainer up in the second quarter, Hutto driving. Darion Milligan hammers it in from a couple of yards out. Hippos trim the lead to 22-12. On the kickoff, Hutto kicks deep to Eric Brewington, and we have something brewing. Starts to the middle, cuts it outside, and then it's just about beating one guy, and he does that right there, and he's gone. 29-12, Mainer leading, but hard to hold the Hippos down. Right before half, Tyler Herrick.
We've heard of him.
We have heard of him many times. Quickly to Derek Camaro, and he hugs the sideline. That's nice. Into the end zone for the score, 29-19 at that point. It is 35-26 Mainer in the fourth.
So a lot of confusion all over the Austin area. The coin toss is pretty ridiculous right there. And Coming up after the break, San Antonio still confusing as well. They've got all these zones and number 2 seeds play number 3 seeds to get in, but we'll get to that here in a second.
Yeah, we'll let you know who's headed to the playoffs when we come back here on the Blitz. Back now on the Blitz, Ricky Doyle alongside Joaquin Sanchez. You know what's better than one Brennan quarterback?
What is that?
2 Brennan quarterbacks. And they are both with Jeff Platt right now.
Brennan beats O'Connor 35-21. It is another district championship for the Bears, joined by both senior quarterbacks for the Brennan Bears, Tavion Tolfrey, Kyle Michael. Guys, what does another district championship mean to you all? Tavion, I'll start with you.
You know, it means everything, not just to, you know, the players, but, you know, we owe it to our fans, and, you know, they come out and support every game, you know, so we owe it to them and, you know, just the Brennan community.
Kyle, same kind of feeling running through you right now.
And also just thanks to our coaches for getting us prepared for this game. And just I hope that we just keep the tradition of winning district year after year. Just keep it alive.
There is some kind of incredible district legacy that you all have created, of course, being undefeated in district play. Kyle, you talked about keeping it alive. How important is it to you to pass it along to these younger guys on this team?
Well, I think it's just lots of words. Just
I lose my words too all the time. It's an emotional moment.
Yeah.
Time now for the Blitz Best. We go into the San Marcos locker room to hear Coach Mark Soto speak to his seniors before the big game.
Hey, you will remember these times for the rest of your life. You have built some badass relationships. Man, you have built some relationships. And it's about to go down. It's about to go down. You're about to build the best memory you may have had in your life. If we go out there and we lead the way we can lead, and we do what we know we can do because we practiced it for 4 years, we practiced it. You are some strong men. Lead these men. Show them the way. Let it all hang out. Spend every penny. You've been investing since January. Spend every penny tonight. Don't you dare walk in with one doubt in your mind. Not one doubt in your mind. You know you spent it all. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
Remember one thing. What's you always remember?
Love us.
I love you. Us coaches love you. Fans love you. Those guys love you. Always remember that. You are loved. You are cared about. And let's go get us one. Let's go. Let's go.
That was awesome. Right?
Powerful stuff, and it worked.
It did work.
They got into the playoffs with a big win.
That's what it's all about. Love Texas high school football. A couple of other scores to get to you. Temple wraps up a fantastic regular season. Their only loss to Westlake. St. Stephen's wins 35-7 over St. Dominic Savio.
Let's keep this party going. Well,
They played these games.
These games were played. We do not have the scores. Marble Falls won, and something else
Liberty
happened.
Hill also.
Liberty Hill also won.
Bandera. I should also mention, not pictured, not seen in the scores there, Steele won tonight, so perfect regular season for the Knights. Obviously, you heard Brendan talking about maybe getting Steele in 2 rounds in the playoffs, but man, that's it.
That's it. This would be a good time to say thank you to everybody. Thanks for all the bands for coming in. I know the Georgetown band didn't come in, but everybody else did. All the bands for coming in, all the coaches for all the access we've had all season, players for putting on a fantastic show for 10 weeks that we've had.
And our crew.
All of our crew, exactly.
We got a lot
all
of
the
people that work a lot of extra hours.
All the news photographers. I feel like I'm at the Oscars or something. The music's coming on the umbrella. But yeah, all the photographers, we get all the news photographers to go out and shoot it. So it's a full hour-long show, and it takes a lot of work from a lot of people. So thank you to everybody.
Yeah, no doubt about it. It's fun. We hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for being with us. We'll still have highlights for you from the playoffs, but this is the end for the Blitz for this year. It is.
Shed a tear.
Great way to end it, though. A lot of good games tonight. So if you missed any highlights tonight, go to our website, twcnews.com, and you'll see them all there.